So welcome to Content Marketing, attracting your target audience and selling more. My name is Natalia Nicholson and I'm the founder of Women in Digital Business. Today is brought to you by myself and also in partnership with the Beck that I've explained to you who they are. You know who Women in Digital are, so if any of you who are women on this call that really want to get ahead in terms of understanding how to use digital tools, how to sell online, to have that flexibility and freedom in life, please make sure you join our Facebook group, which Aria is going to put in the chat now. So just make sure that you take note of that. So let's get started. I always kick off with this. It's really important with anything that you're doing within your business that you're clear on what your goals are. So all of you have been drawn to this workshop in terms of content marketing. Content marketing exists in every single area of digital marketing. You know, within your sales funnel, within your customer value journey, content is what's going to connect you to your target audience. It's like building a personal relationship. It's like meeting someone. It's like the laws of intimacy. Content marketing is how you're going to really be able to connect and get your audience to be able to trust you. It's no different to walking into a coffee shop, you know, your eyes meet, you know, you get a vibe, you get a connection, you keep seeing each other over and over again. Then you might exchange numbers, then you speak on the phone, then you speak on Messenger, WhatsApp, then you go on dates. Then you might think, let's move in, then you get married, and then, you know, you have date nights. It just doesn't end there. You're going to build a relationship with your customer as you would have done face to face once upon a time ago, using your five senses. But now you're going to have to do this through hardware, through tech, through your tablet, through your smartphone, through your laptop. So content marketing is absolutely key. But for you to be able to write content and have content that's going to connect with your audience, you need to understand what are your goals. Okay? It's really, really important, because if you don't understand what your goals are for the next 12 months, the next 3 years, and having the end goal at mind, how will you write copy that's going to connect? For you to be able to really write copy that's going to connect, you're going to have to need to know and understand who is your audience on a much deeper level. It's not just about, you know, what are their demographics. It's not just about, you know, what's their income, what do they do as a living. Yeah, it's about so much more than that. You need to take a real big, deep dive. And at the end, I'm going to show you a program and what you can do to really be able to make sure that you build out a blueprint, that you have a strategy for your business to go forward. But I decided to do content marketing in this workshop because of how key it is for you to be able to really connect. It's not just about having vanity and trying to get followers online. If you've got no intention, what's the point? We're going to look at today, you know, what type of content to make for your business. What are the best channels to use? How to never run out of content, because producing content, it's a lot of work. You know, we're going to look at resources. We're going to look at how to distribute and promote. And importantly, we're going to look at measuring results, because unless you measure results, how will you know what you've done well and, you know, how you're going to continue to grow? So first of all, let's look at what are your goals. Okay, so your goal in terms of you being able to produce content that's going to connect is really understanding your audience. That's your goal. Your goal for content marketing. So you've got your overall business goal, and I covered this last week in the session all about goal setting. Okay, again, for emails that have been sent to you, you would have had a replay, but that goal setting was really, really key in understanding what the goals are for your business. Your goals for content marketing, just to be clear, is to really understand where your customer is before they come into contact with you and where they're going to be after they've come in contact with you or used any of your products or services. And I call it the before and the after grid. So you really want to be able to look at, what does your customer have before? How did they feel before they came into contact with you? What was their average day like? What was their status in life? What's their good versus evil? Then I want you to really be able to look at what the customer segments are. Okay, what I mean by that, if you know who your audience is, you're going to have segments of them, aren't you? So let's say I run a candle business. I run an inspirational gift business. So my target audience are women that want to give gifts to another women to celebrate sisterhood. So I've got different customer segments in that. I've got a customer segment that's mumpreneurs. I've got another customer segment that is career women. Does that make sense? You've got a target audience, but you've got segments within your audience. And you have to make sure when you're producing content, you're speaking directly to each segment. How you're really going to be able to build relationships and build trust and build authority is you need to make the person that you're speaking to through content, whether it's written or verbal, make them feel like you are speaking to them directly. So think about who are your customer segments. Think about the products and services that you sell. And I want you to think about those. And in relation to where your customer is, thinking about all their pains and challenges, how is each customer segment, once they've come into awareness, they've bought, how are they going to feel knowing about your product or service? How will they feel afterwards? What will they have? What will they feel? What will their average day be? What's their status? What's their good versus evil? So I'm just going to give you a real quick example so you can put this into perspective. Some of you might have heard of things called playbooks. They're called all different things, but they are books that will print everything in your Instagram account, put it into a photo album, a book, and it will send it to you monthly. So this is a subscription service business, and it's there to create memories. The leading brand of this type of business is in America, and they have an ad. And I always use this ad as an example because it's a brilliant example of before and after. So within this ad, you've got this woman. This woman is in the bath. She's got a glass of red wine and she excels. So you already know she's had a hell of a day. She closes her eyes and she can see her kids running around her house, absolutely running wild. They're screaming. She's got the laptop open in the kitchen. She's trying to make school dinner. She's dressed in business attire. She's got the phone to one ear. The laptop's there. She's doing lunch boxes. The dog's running around making footprints on the floor. She's stressed. Instantly, I relate to this because I'm a businesswoman and I also have 3 children that run around, drive me crazy. And I'm always juggling about 5 things at the same time. So it's quite clear, as this woman's in the bath, she feels like it's just too much. It's like she has to do it all. She feels run down. She feels unappreciated. She feels like her average day is just living in anxiety of spinning about 10 plates and at any minute they're going to drop. She feels like no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to just be able to push forward to where you want to be and get appreciation for all the things that you do. Her good versus evil is very much like, well, do those that work hard and do good for others really get ahead? Because I'm doing this and I just feel burnt out. Okay. So she gets out the bath. She goes downstairs. She opens the post. There's this box and she opens up her photo album that's got all the memories of webinars that she's run at work, all the memories of her kids, things they've done that month. And in that moment, she's in her kitchen. It's quiet. It's nighttime, everybody's clearly in bed, and she now feels like she's got it all. She feels like she's got a family. She feels like she's got a good business. She feels like she's got a home, a husband. She's got a loving family. She's got a business. Her average day is that it might be tough, but actually, you know what? She gets it done and she keeps pushing forward. Her status is, you know, that now she feels like if you work hard, you really do reap the benefit. What goes around comes around. Her good versus evil. So can you see how just a simple photo album playbook made the state of mind feel completely different before coming into contact with it? And this is what I want you to do. What are your goals? How is your customer feeling, or your prospective customer feeling now? Once they've come into contact with your products or service, whether they've been made aware, whether they've used them, how would they now feel after? What are their pains and challenges, and what solutions do you have to overcome those pains and challenges? So be really, really clear about that. Okay. So now we really want to look at who is your target audience. Okay. This is really, really, really important, because if you don't know who your target audience is, how do you know what content to put together? Right, so who's your target audience? So I really want you to think about, you know, the general demographics of age, gender, marital status, number of children, location. These are the things that, you know, we do in a normal bog standard business plan. These are things that we do when we're putting our business together, but it goes deeper than that. I want you to think about each one of your segments and think about what are their goals. What are their values? What books do they read? What magazines do they read? What blogs and websites do they go on? What conferences do they attend? What gurus do they follow? And so forth and so forth. I want you to think about, what are their challenges in life? You might be selling a weight loss program. One of their challenges is that because they're not being happy with their size, their self-confidence is really low and it's affecting other areas in their life. What are their pain points? Okay. The objection and role. What are the possible objections that they might have to the sell? Think about these things. Your content should be covering these things. It's called objection to sell. Who's the role in the purchase? What I mean by that is, the role in the purchase, you could be selling something that's geared towards someone's children. So actually the child might have a process in them making their mind up whether they want to buy your product or service. Same thing is true of maybe if you're selling bigger items like kitchens or household items. The person paying for it might be the person that makes the most money, but the other person might be the person that looks after the home. So think about the objections and the roles within the sales. And it goes deeper than that. I want you to be able to think about it's called a customer avatar. Your customer, name them. What time do they get up? What do they eat? What's their typical day like? What's their work life like? What do they feel about their friends, family? How do they feel about their life? What would they like to see more of, less of? Likes and dislikes, not just around life, food, what they think about their health. You want to get to know your customer better than they know themselves, because only when you start to really understand what drives your customer is when you really, really start to understand, okay, what content can I write about or talk about or do videos about that's going to connect, that's going to get that human to human communication going, that's going to build trust. And it's the know, like, and trust model. It's then going to get them to buy from you. Content marketing is absolutely essential. Okay? I think you can feel the passion in my voice. I cannot stress it enough. It is relevant to everything you do, whether it's a Facebook ad, a blog, your website copy, landing page copies, your email marketing, flyers, it just adverts, it just doesn't matter. These are the things that you need to think about, and your target audience is key. If you don't understand who your audience is, how can you write or say or put a message together that's really going to land and get their attention? Okay, so what type of content to make and what are the best channels? So here I just really want to be able to help you think about, okay, what type of content you can make. Communication can come in all types of forms. So when we say content, sometimes we just think about written content, and it's not just about written content. It could be non-verbal communication, which is written. It could be, speaking and video. Let's face it, most people now prefer consuming video than they do reading. So it can come in videos, there's social media posts, infographics. Infographics are a great way to explain something visually. Many of us really understand things in a real visual nature. Quotes, podcasts, blogs, articles, ebooks, white papers, email newsletters, autoresponders, email marketing, community publishing, community management, speaking out to a community, webinars. So when we look at content, sometimes with content marketing, we do try to do it all. And that's not a good idea, trying to do it all. It just means that it just takes over your life. So best channels to use would be channels like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, IG Live, Facebook Live, okay? Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Spotify, Anchor for, these are all for podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, WordPress, your website, WordPress, Wix, landing pages, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, Aweber. These are all things that you can do email marketing and put together automated campaigns. Communities, building out communities where like-minded people come together to talk, to discuss, to challenge each other. Quora, Reddit, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. Using platforms where you can get people together and have two-way conversations, Zooms, Google, Webinar Jam, GoToWebinar. These are all softwares that can be used to put together webinars, to have replays, to promote yourself. So there are so many different channels out there, and there are so many different types of content. So again, you need to take it back to your target audience and think about, what channels are my audience hanging out on, and what type of content do they like? Imagine if your target audience were journalists. Journalists still like to read. They still like to be able to touch and feel. So they're not into videos as much. So would you find them as much on the video format and on YouTube? Not necessarily. Okay, these are all the things that are really, 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 really key. I can't stress it enough. So just think about what type of content you want to make and what channels are best. It's really, really, really important. And I love the number 3, just to let you know. So I don't want to see no more than 3 of these. Otherwise, not unless you've got a big team. So also be aware of your resources. If you are small or a one-man band and you're a small business, you don't want to try to be doing videos on YouTube, doing a podcast, doing a community, doing email newsletters, and then now you've got to do email marketing, then you're writing blogs for your SEO. It's too much. So always start with the number 3. I tend to like that. Okay. So when you're putting your content together, you really want to abide by the 80-20 rule. What do I mean by that? And most of you would have heard of this already. So you should only be promoting 20%, and actually 80% you should be informing, educating, and it should be interesting and engaging. And some of you might think, oh, this is the no-brainer. This is something that even myself and my team struggle with, just to let you know. It's not as simple as what it looks, I can promise you. Because as an entrepreneur and a business owner, we have an innate ability to just want to be able to promote and increase customers and be able to increase our visibility because we want sales. That's what we're in business for. So it's really, really easy for us to always think, oh gosh, we need to tell our audience, we've got a mailing list, we've got a community. Let's tell them more and more and more about how they can buy the product. But you don't want to do that, because what you want to do is you want to be able to build trust, everyone. Okay, so it seems like it's easy to do, but actually it's not. I promise you, it really, really isn't. Ignore that burning desire to want to keep selling to someone, and just remember the customer value journey. Your job is to build trust. And you can only build trust if you are helping your audience, you are informing them, educating them, the content that you're offering is interesting and engaging. Okay, that's really, really important. So next, I want to look at the sales letter. In traditional marketing, how people would generally get sales would be through a traditional sales letter. And I'm testimonial of that, by the way. My first successful business was actually a cleaning business. And how we got major big contracts, I kid you not, is that we used to have really nice letter-headed paper, really good quality, really good quality printer. And we used to send letters straight to the procurement managers, facilitators, the decision maker of people who are looking for contract cleaning. And we'd send them a really nice letter, knowing that they would probably store it, telling them all about our services. And when the time's right, when they will be looking to put a tender out and looking to replace their present contractor, they would probably fish that letter out. We're not saying that every single person we sent the letter did that, but the more leads we had and the more letters we sent out, is the more that we'd get a call every month saying, we've got a contract coming up, would you like to come and quote? Having a really good, strong headline. So, on the letter, it says RE, saying what it's regarding, introducing the business, who we are. This is how I went to a turnover of 500,000 in less than 3 years and sold that business. Okay. And sold that business for a good 6-figure sum. That was my first successful business. And that was done by using traditional sales letters. However, we are in the digital world now, and it doesn't quite work like that, does it? A traditional sales letter isn't a traditional sales letter anymore. So the things that we need to look out for on our sales letter is, it still needs to have a headline. It still needs to have a body. It still needs to have benefit to the products, a testimonial, price, justification, guarantee, bonus, call to action. And it's always good to put a PS on there because it summarizes. So that's what a traditional sales letter has. And actually, those points are said the same thing of whether it's a social media post, whether it's a landing page, which is a sales page, you still need to have those ingredients. To this day with digital, it still works. But I tell you what is key in this digital world, the headline. Do you know we scroll on average for about 2.8 miles a day? Imagine that. Imagine that. That's a long time. What makes us stop at a post? What makes us stop when we're in a community? What makes us stop when we're looking at our Instagram and TikTok or looking at videos? What makes us stop when we are hanging out on social media or we're looking something up that we need more information about? What grabs our attention to delve in deeper? Headlines do. That's what makes us stop. So it's important with your headlines that you attract attention. You make your prospect that they want to be able to read on. Okay, it's said to be as much as 80% of getting your content seen is within the headline. Write lots of different ones and test them. Testing, we're going to look at analytics, is so important because when you test, you know when you're on the right line and you can do more of that same thing. You know, what will arouse interest? You know, is it a statement? Is it a guarantee? Winning a prize? You know, what is it that's going to arouse their interest to think, you know what, I'm going to keep reading on? You know, is it being controversial? Eat chocolate and lose weight. I think when Beyonce did some type of maple syrup diet for one of her films, that diet went viral within a couple of weeks. And, you know, the people that were offering that type of diet, just from the headline of using Beyonce and maple syrup and losing weight, it made a lot of diet products and businesses and health companies skyrocket. Go figure. It was controversial. It was trending. There's a lot of apps that you can use. You've got things like, and we'll cover it in here as well, like Bazumo, Ask the Public, that will help you find out what topics are trending. So you can also use trending headlines and topics to grab people's attention because that's what people are talking about in the now. So the headline really needs to say what, why, and who. Okay. So just a few conversion extras. So you've got the body of your text. So you've got that headline. Once the headline's paid off, people are going to start reading, aren't they? So what are you going to keep them compelled to read your posts? Long posts work just as well as short posts, depending on the situation. Don't think that because people's attention spans are short, you should just write something short. Because depending on what you're doing, people need texture and depth, and you're building a relationship. So it depends on what you're doing. But storytelling is very, very powerful. Storytelling is a great way for you to be able to really relate to people and to really build relationships. You know, Hollywood tells stories great. Your job is to be able to get someone to get them to understand that you understand them by using a story that they can relate to. Yes, storytelling is very powerful. And within this, we're actually doing a 6-week workshop, by the way. So make sure Ariel will put the link in now to our website that lists all events, you know, workshops that we've got coming up, because I'm actually going to be running a workshop all around storytelling and presentation, like how to win business using presentations and storytelling. So please check it out. But you also want to be able to play to emotions. So emotions like pride, greed, lust, anger, gluttony, envy, sloth. This is not me being negative, but these negative emotions is what will be a pain point or a challenge for your prospect. And what you're doing is offering some type of solution. You know, people that are traders, when they sell trading programs, like stock exchange, when they sell trading programs, stock trading programs, they will actually use specifically things like gluttony and sloth to be and plug into those emotions to be able to sell those training, because it's somewhere that you can make large sums of money if you know how to, without having to move from your chair. So they home in on this emotions. So play to the emotions. Think about the pains and challenges of your audience. And this is all relating to the content that you're putting together. What are the benefits of the product or service? Demonstrate or prove what you're saying. Reviews are so powerful. How many of you use Amazon and your decision to buy is based on what the reviews are saying? You know, the layout of your text, if you have got long copy, even if you've got short copy, space it out. Make sure it's not all clumped together and it looks overwhelming. Use bullet points. You want to make it easy on the eye. You know, like when you can just skim read and you can see something and the relevant information jumps out because the relevant headlines are being bold. You know, the bullet points are being used. So just a few more extras. Testimonials, I told you they're imperative. Some of you might be feeling, but how do I get testimonials if I haven't got any? Don't make them up, but you can get them. Whether you give people, you know, a way to test your product and service, which can also be a good way to build your community, whether you get friends and families to test and try your products and services and help you out. You can get testimonials. And actually, as your business grows, you should have some type of review funnel within your business. You should be asking for reviews all the time. Testimonials are absolutely key for your growth. Okay. Price. Price is really important. You're always going to need to be able to test price, by the way. It's absolutely key. But your audience will actually always dictate to you what the price will be, and make sure you test it. And it's really funny. Price is one of the letdown of one of my businesses, by the way. So my e-commerce business, Natalia Nicholson Inspirational Gifts, our hero product are candles. And when I first launched, our only product was candles. And when I launched that business, actually, I priced the candles too low. Go figure. So I was selling luxury soy wax candles. And for anybody that's a candle lover, to have a premium candle made out of soy wax with the burning times that we had, made out of completely natural oils and scents, they come in these really nice rose gold and silver glasses with a bell lid over them. People just felt like that offer was too good to be true. I increased my price by 50% and sold more. Make sure that you test price, and you can test price using content. Especially if you was using community, ask your audience, ask people. If you've got customers, ask them. It's a known fact for any of you that might be struggling and want to increase your profit margins at the moment, that most businesses, literally like 99.9%, can raise their prices by 20% and you won't actually lose customers. I'm not saying it's true all the time, but most of the time it really genuinely is. Offering guarantees, it makes people feel better. I always buy from a store called Lakeland for household items like blenders, kitchenware, because they've just got a no quibble return policy. I cannot be asked. John Lewis, another department store here in the UK, just a non-quibble. So these are all extras in your content that can really help you to be able to convert whatever it is that you're talking about. Adding bonuses, some might be limited, they might be for a time. Your content should always have a call to action, whether it's buy now before we sell out, whether it's sign up for an event, learn more, follow us, join our community, share, buy. There should always be a call to action. A piece of content with no call to action is a seriously terrible crime. And PS is a great way to emphasize strong selling points. Remember, this market's about to explode. This is a one-time offer. Remembering the key benefits. It's going to be different for all of you, by the way. And just remember that. So your job with content is really to create the know, like, and trust, the marketing hourglass, okay? And that's what you want to do using content. I told you, content is what you're going to use to really, really be able to connect. I can't stress that enough. That's what, think about if you was in a physical environment and someone came into your shop, you can see them, you can smell them, they can smell you, you can talk. If it was something to do with food, you could taste, okay? You can hear. If you had something, you can touch it, you can feel it. All these things are missing online, okay? But how do you think that big retailers have become so big selling clothes that you can no longer touch, feel, try on, look at, see what the fabric looks at, like, see what the quality is like? They have done this through content. Content is what's going to connect you through the technology. Content is what's going to make people trust you. Content is what's going to make people even know that you exist. Content is going to keep people coming back and buying from you again and again and again. So your content is going to get people to know you, whether that's through articles, through ads, through referrals, through community buildings. We went through the content types and the platforms that you can use. You need to get them to like you. Okay, how are they going to get to like you? What engagement are you going to use? How are they going to be able to interact with you? Is it through a website? Is it through a newsletter? Content is going to help you to get you to trust your audience. How are you going to get them to trust you? Usually it's through something like through a lead magnet. So will it be a marketing kit? Will it be a free report? Will it be a product presentation? Will it be an ebook? Will it be a sample? trying you. Maybe it'd be an entry point offer where they buy something really, really small. Maybe it's something free again, like a lead magnet also as well. So will it be a webinar? Will it be an evaluation? Will it be trying something really low end that doesn't cost a lot, but actually your audience is now trying you and willing to take their credit or debit card out, which means what are they doing? More trust is being built. Then they're going to buy from you your main product. And they're going to keep buying from you and repeating that process where they're upselling. They're not just upselling, they're upsell, they're downsell, they're cross-sell. McDonald's does this really well. You go and order something. Would you like that supersize? Would you like an apple pie? Maybe you go in there and you can't afford a meal. So there's a savers menu. So you're now downselling where you can get a burger for 99p. Okay. And then you're just going to keep repeating this process over and over again. And the people that know, like, and trust you, what do they now do? They repeat buy from you and they refer you. So through content, you're going to create that marketing hourglass and you're going to create your customer value journey. Again, the 6 weeks events that we're about to put on, the customer value journey, is the big bonus workshop that I'll be doing, which is going to last about 2 to 3 hours, where you will put together your own customer value journey. Okay, but content is really, really key. So next we want to look at the checklist of the customer life cycle. So again, this will be sent out as replay. Make sure you're taking pictures of the screen. Do what you need, but this is your checklist. How are you going to get your customer, your prospect, to know you, like you, trust you? And I would definitely suggest reviews on that point. And what are you doing to even get reviews? What are you going to do for them to try you? Will it be a trial? Maybe you're putting a piece of software together. When we look at SaaS companies, software companies, one of the best ways they get for people to try them is through a free version. What are you going to do to upsell, downsell, cross-sell? What's your version of McDonald's going to be? And, how will you encourage the repeat, the follow-up offers, the autoresponders? So how will you get people to repeat buy from you, or how will you encourage those that haven't bought to buy from you? What automation emails will you put together? What offers will you put together? What will your funnel look like for you to do this? Everything in this step is done through content. How will you get your customers, your brand ambassadors, to refer you? What referral schemes will you put together to grow this part of the business, so the people that your cheerleaders are helping you actively to get more customers? And what's the administration that is involved in all of this? So that's your checklist. And it is a lot. It is a lot, but start in one area. I don't want to overwhelm you, because all of this will depend on where you are, whether you're at the beginning of your journey, whether you're scaling, whether you're growing. It would all depend. Okay. So email marketing, I really want to cover this purely because email marketing is one of those things that people don't really take very seriously. They think it's a nice to have or something that should be done. And it's just like this checklist. But what email marketing does is it sends a series of program messages after some form of event. So whether someone has subscribed to you and you've got their details, or whether they've purchased from you. Email marketing should always be personalized. So the email should address the person that you're sending it to. And you can use email marketing to promote and to educate. Remember the 80-20 rule. But you can use email marketing to make sure that you are always communicating with your leads, because not every time that you're selling is your prospect ready to buy. So email marketing is a powerful way to keep your leads warm, to make sure that you've always got sales coming through, because you would have acquired those leads through advertising, through your time on whether it was writing blogs, building a community. They was of cost to you. So just because they didn't buy from you doesn't mean that you just kick them to the curb. And this is where email marketing comes in. It's a method that you can use to keep your leads warm, which means you'll keep getting sales in, because like I said, not every time you're selling is your customer going to buy or ready to buy. Sometimes you have to keep nurturing them, and that nurturing them is building the relationship. And because we're in tech, what are we building the relationship through? Content marketing. So there's some great autoresponders. If you're right at the beginning of your journey, MailChimp is free, but it can become limited as you get bigger and cost more. You've got things like Aweber. You can even build funnel pages in Aweber, so you can drive them through a specific page. It collects their emails. You've got things like ActiveCampaign. And if you're really scaling and growing, you've got things like Infusionsoft now called Keep. Get Response. There's a number of them. And I'm never someone to say, use this software. You need to use a software that you're comfortable with and you can get or your team understands. Okay. So autoresponder and content tips. Again, when you're looking at autoresponders and putting your email marketing together, remember the 80/20 rule. Remember that your content should be newsworthy. People do not hang out, especially on social media, to be sold to. So it should be newsworthy. It should be valuable. It should have product reviews on there, any warnings, new ideas, something innovative that's got to do with the marketplace or your product or your service. Social, are there things that's trending about your marketplace and what you sell, what people are discussing? Is there any controversy around it? Doing polls. It could be that you've got something like a magazine and you're selling advertising space where you can help other businesses build their community, whether it's through a magazine or a community. There's a lot of communities popping up now that actually is a subscription where they help you by promoting your business in their community. So just think about the autoresponders and the email marketing that you're putting out. Here's just some content ideas of what it is that you can use. And to be fair, there are many, many tips that you can use. But you really want to just bear in mind, you want to build a relationship. You want to promote your other products and services depending on how your prospects become aware of you. You want to promote other affiliate or joint venture products. So maybe you've got a product, a lot of e-commerce companies do it. The Campbell company do it, where they'll offer you a complete and utter free gift if you share. We do the same thing as well. If you share, you get a discount code. Joint ventures, making sure that there's people within your community that are happy to promote you, that they get something back in return for doing that. This is all content. Make sure when you're writing emails, your subject line is personal. It's got the recipient's name in it. This all increases the read. Make sure you have a strong, intriguing subject line. And do not forget that 80/20 rule. It should be 2-to-1 ratio of information and promotion. And don't forget, when I'm going back to the affiliate and joint ventures, because I saw that there was an affiliate on here. When you're doing autoresponders and email marketing, there are people within your list that you're contacting that might want to make money. So promoting an affiliate or joint venture product of your business model is a great way. Okay, it's a great way to bring in income. And now you're not actually directly selling the product or service, you're selling an opportunity. Okay. And don't forget, you've got a lot of software that can help you with things that are trending, and we are going to make sure that we cover that. So how to never run out of content. So some of you might be, and remember what I said about the big three. So this is just an example, but some of you might be on more than one platform. So you might be on Instagram, you might be on YouTube, you might have a blog post going, a blog that goes. You might do quote cards that you pull out every day. You might post on Facebook. You might do Instagram stories, Facebook stories. So, my suggestion is the big three. And if it's not the big three, my suggestion to you is think about your target audience. Where does your audience hang out? It's really, really important, because knowing where your audience hangs out on what platform is going to make you know which platform you want to be on. Because being on all of them is a lot of work. You might be at the stage where you have a team, so it's fine. I'm not going to assume where all of you are. But if you have got a small team or you're a solopreneur, please don't go through all of them. But what you can do if you're on more than one is you can repurpose content. Okay, so you can never run out of it. It's called the content multiplier. So you can really optimize by repurposing and using content. So for example, you might do a video on YouTube and that can be repurposed, the audio, for your podcast. Okay, content creation, you might do websites and you could take that you might do webinars, and you might take the webinar and cut it into snippets of posts that you can now put out on Instagram and Facebook. And user-generated content, people that are actually using your platform. Maybe you've asked people to even do video reviews. Use them. Use their content that they've sent to you for you to be able to put out on your platform. And when you do this, you'll never run out of content. And if you organize your files, by the way, in an organized fashion, I can't stress this enough, it means that after a year or so, you can reuse and repurpose that, even in 6 months if you wanted to. There could be a Mother's Day post that you do, Christmas post that you do. They can all be adapted to another year and just slightly edited. But make sure that you save your files in an orderly manner and fashion. Make sure that you have YouTube posts and they're all in date order. If you then took that and turned that into an audio, you then have that podcast file. Make sure your filing system is on point, because otherwise you could just keep producing content where actually you could keep reusing it. And there are so many resources. I've touched on some of them already. But for video editing, you've got things like Canva and iMovie. You don't need to get a video editor in place. These are softwares and apps that you can use yourself. And for any of you that might be frightened of technology, don't. These softwares are now all cloud-based. They've got apps and they are super user-friendly. They are all built in a way that understands how you guys use your smartphones. The fact that you know how to use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Google Sheets, Google Docs. They know your functionality and how you can use it. Most of us have got smartphones and can navigate our way around WhatsApp, and we can navigate around things. We know that when we see the vertical lines, we know that that's now the menu and we can click on it. So don't be frightened of using softwares or trying them out thinking, oh, I'm not really a techie person. Take that barrier down, remove it, because actually all these apps and softwares are used to be user-friendly, and they all use a user experience that you are used to. Canva, if you haven't got a Canva account, please go and open one straight after this webinar. It's like having your own graphic designer. Grammarly, I'm dyslexic. Grammarly is really key for me. There is always that person that always wants to tell you that you've got a grammar or spelling mistake, and it always just makes you feel so low because you think, oh, I put it out there, and always try to check things. But at the same time, don't be too hard on yourself. Richard Branson actually did a post about this not too long ago on LinkedIn, and just telling everybody to get over it. We knew what they meant. But Grammarly is a great way because your audience can be very unforgiving of spelling errors and grammar depending on what you do. So Grammarly is a great app for your content to make sure it's all where it should be. Trends that you've got. So just remember, I spoke a lot about headlines, catching headlines, about writing about things that are trending, things that people know about. How do you know what's trending? How do you keep up? So you've got software called Bazumo. So if your business is very content driven, Bazumo will tell you exactly what's trending. Ask the Public. Ask the Public allows you to type in any subject area, and it will tell you what people are searching for around that topic. Google Alerts is another great way for you to keep on top of what's going on within the news and the media, so you can stay relevant with your own content and grab people's attention. Remember that 2.8 miles. And Google News, just checking that every day is a great place to be. Twitter trends. Twitter is a great platform to understand those people who are great influence and thought leaders, what they're saying, what they're commenting on, backlashes that are coming back about them. Twitter is also a really, really great way. Moz SEO. So Moz and SEO Analyzer is really being able to look at keywords and look at your search optimization on things that are relevant and trending and what people are actually searching for. You've even got free softwares like Google Trends as well. So you've got many, many resources to help you when it actually comes to content, to make sure that, you are, again, connecting with your audience and you are using subjects and trending items that you can connect with your audience with. It's all about connecting, okay? Debbie said, love Canva and Grammarly. I know, Canva is just like the best. You can do like proposals on there, Instagram stories, your social media banners. You can edit videos on there. The list just goes on and on and on and on and on. Even the presentation that you're looking at right now was designed and done in Canva. Brilliant example. So social media scheduling platforms, if you've got a number of platforms that you're using, anything above one, you've got things like Hootsuite, CoSchedule, Buffer, Tailwind. These are all softwares that can help you schedule your content, because otherwise it will become incredibly time consuming. It will take your whole world up. Again, content's just used in every single area. Facebook ads, Google ads. Facebook ads are really good when you want to target through interest. Google ads are great when, people are actually searching for you, or you're going into the search engine and searching for something. Again, what are all these things too? Gillian's asked, is scheduling on Canva? It's not, unfortunately, by the way. But there are so many different schedulers out there, and just use one that's good for you. So content writing is in blogs, it's in your social media posts, it's on landing page sales pages, it's on your Facebook ads, it's on your Google ads, price per click. And they're all going to be different types of content writing. So you becoming more knowledgeable and understanding how to content write is absolutely invaluable, or finding someone. But if you find someone, they need to understand your goals as a business, as the business owner, and they need to understand your audience. Okay, it's really, really important, because the whole idea of content writing is the fact that you are connecting with your audience. So you have to know who they are. It goes without saying. Okay, so what's more important is that you need to be able to measure the results. You can now see that content is in every single area of your customer value journey, of your sales funnel. It's in everything you do. Even if you wasn't using digital and you write proposals, or you're presenting, and you're just doing direct sales, what do you need? Content. So content is at the core of everything. But with content, you need to be able to measure your results. If you are not measuring your results with any form of marketing, how can you move forward and become better? You need to be scoring what you're doing at all times. And there's analytics in everything. Facebook offers analytics, IG analytics, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google. If any of you have got a website or landing pages, your Google Analytics account should be connected to it. And if it's not, I also want you to do that today as well. You've got things like Bitly. Maybe you're using loads of links. Maybe you've got an event running and you're inviting loads of different people. But how are you going to know where those people found out about an event? Okay, whether it's an event, it's a free downloadable resource, whatever the case may be. But Bitly is a great tool for you to be able to produce links for maybe one link that you're promoting, just so you can track the traffic and see where it's coming in from. Be mindful of Facebook and IG analytics as well. I think they only used to last for 30 days. I think that's now changed to 60. But if you are not tracking, and at least every week or every month going to download the analytics and the data that's being offered to you by the platforms that you're hanging out on, you're missing a huge opportunity to understand and measure where you are in terms of you reaching your goals. Is the marketing, is the strategy that you've put together and you're rolling out, is it working? Is there return on investment? So even if you're not into this in a complex way, Bitly is a great tool, just by giving different links to whatever you're posting, whether it's on a blog, whether it's on somebody else's community, whether it's on your email marketing, whether it's WhatsApp getting sent out to your friends or your family circle. Bitly will provide a link. So at least if you've got a list, you can track where traffic's coming from on whatever it is, how people are subscribing to your service, maybe where they're finding out from you and they're buying from you, if it's straight just e-commerce, whether it's how they're being made aware of you. It depends on where they are in your sales funnel, in your customer value journey. So just before we wrap up and get to the end, because I've been chatting your ears off now for a whole hour and it's a lot to take in. So, you will get a replay. For those of you that are on this workshop and this webinar, and you are a woman, you are actively looking for customers online, make sure you join our Facebook group. It's an active, thriving community. It really, really is. And there's just some great resources and tools in there. But for all of you that are here as well, and you're just looking to be more structured. So you come on these webinars, you understand what I'm saying, you feel like, yeah, that's so true. Yet we need to be doing more of this. We need to be doing X, whether it's content marketing, goal setting, how to tell a story and how to be able to present, how to put a social media strategy together, how to use digital marketing and all the different areas of it. We can just get lost in the information. You just automatically go into overwhelm. And what you need is a strategy and a system that works for you, that you can say, okay, let me take these elements and let me build it out in relation to my business and my customer audience, and let me start putting this together. And that's where our Empower system is really here to be able to help you. It offers you a structured program of going through everything with worksheets that you have to go away and do. So at the end of it, you're literally left with a Bible, a strategy, and a blueprint of understanding what you need to do in all areas of getting your business out there, starting it, making it viable. And if you've done that already, growing and scaling it. Because sometimes what stops us from growing and scaling it is some of the things that we've done in the beginning in terms of the branding, in terms of building out communities, hasn't been done correctly. We have to go back. I had to brand my e-commerce business 4 times before we really started to scale and get it to where it needed to be. So the Empower system is a strategic system. It's a 12-week program that is really, really going to be able to help you put a strategy together in all areas, understand what you're going to need the content for, what platform will you be using, what type of content, exactly who your audience is, doing a deep dive analytic, actually putting together a proven blueprint of your whole business so you understand all the digital strategies you're going to use and how you're going to use them. So we very much look at just your mindset, just the foundation of it all. What is it built on? What is your goal? Looking at your revenue growth plan, understanding the numbers, they're key. These are core elements of commercial business that we need to understand. Looking at your makeup, you're looking at your business, looking at the product offering, the service offering. What's your core offer? What's your system? Okay, putting a sales roadmap together of understanding actually what map is going to navigate me to go from where I am now to the goal that I've set, be it 6, 7 figures. Looking at all the different marketing strategies, putting your own together. Looking at, financial freedom and what it is to really get there, but on a strategic level, not just manifestation, not just wishing on a star, not just saying, I'm going to get there, we're going to do it. And you keep hitting wall after wall after wall, and you're not really figuring out how you're going to get there, but your desire as an entrepreneur is really, really strong. Who suffers from shiny object syndrome? Always, putting all the work in, putting the effort in, not seeing the results, and then having a new next big thing or idea and start working on that, where you could have been from 3 steps of gold with what you were doing, but you wasn't seeing the results. As entrepreneurs, we're renowned for shiny object syndrome, always got 10 businesses on the go. Let's focus on one area, one customer segment, monetize it, and do it again and again and again. So we look at business systems, we look at digital business processes. The next 6 weeks is really about scaling, your automation. It's all well talking about this email marketing and customer segmentation, but how do you put an automation system together that is able to connect with all your customer segments, talk to them directly so they feel you're talking personal to them, and make it automated? Because once you've got your target audience, you've got many other customer segments, okay? How to delegate tasks, how to build a team, how to lead, how to be productive, how to hire in resource, whether it's abroad or somewhere else, and actually work as a team on the same page and get the results. Scoring, making sure that you've got analytics in everything you do and you score absolutely every part of your business digitally, because that scorecard's going to help you. Boxers, American football players, basketball players, netball players, hockey players, every sport that there is that you compete in, the Olympics, people watch themselves back and they see where they've gone wrong so they can get better and better and better. We need to do it in business. So having a company scorecard and really analysing data is key. And we need to be led by the data, not our entrepreneurial assumption that everybody is like us. And, finally, putting a scale growth plan together, that actually you've got a blueprint that you can just keep tweaking the different areas that's going to bring you to that place of gold and getting you to where you want to be. But it's all about strategy. We have to use a strategic system. Okay. So being strategic is really, really clear. It's all well knowing this information, but how do you implement it into your business? So that's why we put the Empower program together. You get all of those lessons, you get a whole load of worksheets that you can complete. You can complete the lessons with or without the worksheets, but those worksheets, once you've completed to them, you get left with a Bible, you get left with a blueprint. And these aren't just exercises that you do like, yep, done that, check, done that, check, done that, check. It's not that. These are exercises that are going to force you to deep dive, and they're going to change the way that you think and do business. They're going to make you look at your business like it's an operating system. They're going to make you think and move strategically so you reach goals. So in addition to that, you become part of a community where you've got other like-minded women, other like-minded people that you can bounce ideas off of, okay? Which is really, really important. You've got a sincere community that wants to see you success. Within the membership site, you get, some of you might be starting your business and you want to do it, but you're unsure of exactly, what's the system. So we put together a how to build your 7-figure digital system using the 7-step system, so you can be clear. Sometimes being clear on what the steps are makes you reevaluate what your product offering is if you're at the beginning of your journey. We also put together the 5 core principles of being a successful entrepreneur, looking at mindset, your relationship with money, managing yourself, so you break bad habits and you form really good habits. Looking at mastery of the mind, mastery of everything. Looking at marketing in its truest sense. Marketing is the tool within your business that's going to get you customers and increase your profit. And again, some of you might have a weak business model, or you started and you're still very unsure. The ultimate e-commerce business checklist. Are you doing everything you should be? Maybe you've got a business model, it might be weak, but it's bringing you money, but you just need a checklist to figure out where's going wrong. So there's loads in this membership site. It's a 12-week program, plus you get loads of bonuses. Plus each lesson, like I said, comes with a summary playbook, and it gives you actionable steps that you're going to do within the 12 weeks. We've also put together accountability groups. So those accountability groups, you will meet with me within them. So we then offer group coaching, and that's directly with me. So you become part of a monthly private accountability call. Okay. So you meet in a small group, and we also have a group coaching session with me. And for every single workshop that we are running in the next 7 weeks and beyond, one person from each and every single workshop that just signs up straight away gets a one-to-one business consultation with me. So today, the replay is going to be open for the next 72 hours. This will be sent to you within the next few hours. For more information about the Empower program, Aria is going to put a link that goes into depth of what's in the program. I've just explained it there as well. I'm giving you a code. I'm giving you a code for $100 off. So take note of that code. Aria is going to put it in the chat again, and in the replay email, you will get the code as long as a link to the sales page as well. So if you don't want to replay it, you just want to go into seeing what Empower is about and using the code to purchase, it will be all on the replay email sent to you. You'll get it in there. But I've done this, and my why of doing this, because for me as an underrepresented woman, there was so much information that I needed, and I spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on different programs, on different videos, different coaches. I got loads of little things from them all, but I never got everything I needed from one place. And then I would go and implement these things, and I still wouldn't get ahead. And I paid some top money for some of the programs that I joined. And it just irked me, because for where I'm coming from, there were just some things that others might know because they know. Because if you know, you know, right? If that makes any sense. And for me, coming from a background where I don't have any entrepreneurial influence, I just had the corporate world, my degree. And for some of us, there isn't even that luxury of maybe going through all the different types of courses that I've got, that I went to go through. So it just left me in a place that the reason why I created this community is because underrepresented women are starting businesses at the fastest rate out of any other group worldwide. And the help and assistance we get is the smallest, but yet we're rocking it the most. We are contributing to the economy. We are giving jobs, and then we hit this ceiling height that our counterparts who are male will surpass us because we're not getting the right support. And I am very passionate about it. And I also felt that some of the money that I spent on some of the programs that I did just simply wasn't worth it. There are some things that I've paid for that someone could have just told me out of the goodness of my heart, of their heart, sorry. And bear in mind, all these workshops that I'm running, they give value. I'm not trying to gatekeep any information. If you need something, we've got it, we're going to share it. This is not about making my pocket fatter. This is about making everybody's dream come true, getting to 6-7 figures, because as we grow, we will be giving our profits back away with funding. Okay, we can't wait on all the institutions, the big media players, the non-profit organizations to fund us. We want to fund the businesses that have really got a real chance to get to that 6-7 figure business. So our profits will go back into funding businesses at the end of this year. So this is about growing a community, a tribe. This isn't just about me. Oh, I'm Natalia. This is Women in Digital Business. Come and join. This is about a really big vision. And I've put the program together so you get value. This is value of me sharing with you the £100,000 worth of knowledge that I've had to gain and still had to end up putting it in order like a puzzle to actually crack the code. And I've put it together in a program. So for the next 72 hours, you have got $100 off using that code that you can see on the screen. Okay. And think about it. If all it did was help you make a constant increase in your monthly sales, would it be worth it? If all it did was take the overwhelm of marketing your product or service, would it be worth it? If all it did was empower you, took away imposter syndrome, gave you more self-confidence, uplifted you, let us be your cheerleaders, and took every action, every lesson to get where you wanted to be, would Empower be worth it? Would it be worth it? And I think you already know the answer. And just so you know, by the way, some of you might be wondering, okay, so I've been talking. What is the price? The price simply, by the way, is $297. And we priced it at a real no-brainer price. Real no-brainer price. When we tested this, there's many people that said, you know, this should be a lot more. We are a global organization. We have followers from Africa, India, the Caribbean. We have those from disadvantaged backgrounds in the UK, in America, in Europe. We wanted to price it to make sure that the entry point was a level playing field for everybody. I cannot represent underrepresented women and then go put in a figure like a high ticket of £10,000. There are programs that cost that have got the same value of information in there. And if you don't believe me, is it the worst amount to spend to find out? And if you feel this program doesn't work, actually, we will give you your money back. Hands down, no quibble, because we know it's worth it. Okay, this isn't no gimmicks. It's no, okay, this is what we're giving you, all fur coats. As an expression in the UK, all fur coat and no knickers. It's not that. It's just amazing value. So the link Aria will put in the chat to the page to be able to get you to sign up along with the code. You will get a replay, but it's down to you. It's not a large investment, and it's an investment that's worth it. Okay. And for today's webinar, again, I just really want to plug this webinar. The content that was brought to you was in partnership with Barking Enterprise Centre. There, if you go to the beginning of the chat, their email, their web link is there. Please make sure that you go and check them out to see what other workshops they've got running, to look at their mentoring. If you're tired of working at home and you want a desk space, if you are scaling and growing and you need an office, please make sure that you reach out and you call them. Those are for those people that are from East London, the Greater London area, that are accessible to the London Barking area. So today's content marketing workshop was brought to you myself, Natalia Nicholson, and Barking Enterprise Centre. My name is Natalia Nicholson. I am the founder of Women in Digital Business, and I look forward to seeing you within the Facebook community, also found in the chat. And I look forward to seeing those of you that are going to take that leap to get structured, get a strategy in place. I look forward to seeing you in the Empower membership.